Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is host Eric. I'm the host of Talking with Famous People, and I am the lucky guy who has the internet's only YouTube channel. That's right, it's just me up here on YouTube doing my thing. Nobody else has thought about becoming a creator on the platform yet, so it's just me still. I can't believe that nobody else is YouTubing yet. Well, my wonderful kitty and I are YouTubing. So, title of this video, How Do You Handle Jealousy? Is stemming from, well, a couple of things really. But maybe I'll wait a bit here as I'm petting the kitty for some more people to arrive before I get into the topic. Although it does ask the question, how do you handle jealousy? So certainly you could provide an answer as well. Oh, kitty, you're so strange. As soon as I started live streaming, you decided to come over and show off for the camera, huh? Well, good for you. What a good kitty you are. Yes. You are a very good kitty. Yes, you are a very good kitty. Who is a very good kitty? You are a very good kitty. So, we had an interesting conversation the other day. Me and Ruben and Rachel. And it was about jealousy about the past in particular. Like, Ruben was saying how when Acacia's vague about something from her past, Ruben intuits that it must have involved a guy, and specifically, thank you, Ali Gary, I appreciate it. Hi, Cherie, Jacob, and Belia, and Wanda Maximoff. My kitty decided to come over here. This is one of our two cats. Decided to come over here and sit on the edge of the chair. Okay, more pets. Okay. Just as soon as I started live streaming, I don't know. It seemed like she wanted to show off for the camera or something. Normally, she's not particularly. Like if she's sleeping and I bring the camera to show her, I put it up close to her, she gets annoyed. So I don't try not to annoy her, obviously. Oh, my beauty poo. What a special lady. Anyway, um, you got a nice red nosed pit bull. Cool. I used to have a dog, but unfortunately she died. Anyway, we're having this conversation about jealousy. Ruben and Rachel and I. And Ruben indicated that Acacia doesn't like doesn't like to hear anything about Ruben's past. And in fact, it specifically instructed him, uh, don't talk about any other ladies from your past because it's going to make me feel bad, right? And then I also can feel jealous, sad, or whatever when um, Rachel talks about someone from her past, and then it makes me feel sad or whatever. But then she was upset a little bit too. We were talking about this yesterday because she says it's unfair because um, she has to know all about my past, but um, I don't want to hear. I don't necessarily like to hear about hers, right? So what I said was, of course, I do want to hear about her past, and um, that I've not ever like tried to tell her not to talk about it. Um, just that sometimes I can't help but feel sad, and it's jealous, basically. It's a crazy thing, this jealous from the past thing, right? Jealous about the past. Sebrin Xboktov, hello. Welcome to America. How's it going in Russia? I hear you guys have some kind of harsh winters. I know it's not winter now, but so anyway, the thing is, I wasn't even thinking about it this morning, but then I just watched the rest of this ridiculous Baki universe show. If you've ever watched Baki on Netflix, then you know what I'm talking about. It's one of history's most ridiculous shows. I can't believe how many episodes of Baki I watched before I just said, okay, I cannot watch any more of this garbage. The new one on Netflix, which is Baki, different characters set in the Baki universe, basically, is much better than Baki, but still absolutely ridiculous. Hello from South Georgia. Hello from Central California. And I'm not looking at you like that, lonely. I'm looking at myself in the camera here like that in a very seductive fashion. Oh, Eric, you're looking good today. You've got very expressive eyebrows. Um. Anyway, so I was watching this ridiculous show this morning, and one of the storylines of the show was the main character, uh, his girlfriend, who was the daughter of this karate dojo, you know, the master of the Mia style, right? And she was attacked by somebody. Then the main character, Makio, that's one of the things they call him. He killed the guy who attacked his girlfriend, and then he saw in her eyes what he thought was um, like horror at him for killing the guy, but anyway, so he ran away. Now it's like years later, and the girl has a new boyfriend, and he's now the karate master too, of course. And so it turns out as this ridiculous storyline plays out, where as always in the Baki universe, there's like tournaments that happen, and then you think that's supposed to be like the main thing, but then it's just side stories. It goes into other stuff. It just kind of, I don't know who the hell writes these things, but so she is with her new boyfriend, and then her old boyfriend comes back, and she tells him, "I'm with this new boyfriend now," and but they parted ways abruptly as he ran off after she was attacked by this guy. And so I don't know, they're like eyes are going back and forth or whatever. And then before the final tournament battle where the old boyfriend is going to fight the new boyfriend, she is asked, who does she want to win? And she says, whoever's stronger. And strangely, but pleasingly, the new boyfriend actually wins the fight, and the main character loses it and gets arrested because he killed that guy who attacked his girlfriend before. Anyway, it was watching that video. I just couldn't help but think this is absolutely ridiculous. How synergistically or serendipitously is what I meant to say. How serendipitously this storyline ties in with the topic of jealousy that Ruben and Rachel and I were talking about, and that Rachel and I were talking about some last night as well. Um, it it's a weird phenomenon, right? Like, uh, to get jealous about your partner's past, about the fact that they had previous relationships and stuff. I think I'm gonna make a poll. Do you get jealous about your partner's past? Hi, Mr. Double. Okay. Do you get jealous about your partner's past? So that's the kind of jealousy specifically that I'm talking about in this stream. Is not jealousy that is predicated on, say, like your partner flirting with somebody currently, or not not getting jealous because you're worried she might be interested in somebody else at work or whatever, but specifically jealous about your partner's past. Like, do you not want to hear about a story from her past if it involves her ex-boyfriend or something? Well, right, it's rude to probe into it. I'm not saying my jealousy about Rachel's past leads me to ask her questions about her past. I'm saying it leads me to not want to hear about it, right? It leads me to not want to hear about anything that involves an ex boyfriend or something because it'll make me sad to think of her being with another person. Or I might fear that that other person was better for her than I am in some fashion, you know? Well, sure, jealousy is insecurity in some way. Well, it depends, right? Richard Andrew Crosby. Let's say your wife is flirting with somebody at a party. That's not insecurity. That's that would be, betrayal, a minor form of betrayal, right? So, but the kind of jealousy I'm talking about, you could say it's insecurity, right? It's fear that you don't match up well against a previous partner in some fashion. And Boba Fett, you don't seem to be listening to me or hearing me. I am not digging around in anybody's past, right? My jealousy about Rachel's past does not manifest as asking questions about it, digging around. It manifests as not particularly wanting to hear about it, you know? So pay pay attention, please. The school is out for summer. For me at least. Already? I guess it is the end of May. So most people say no. They don't feel jealous about their partner's past. Squiggles says by ignoring it. No, I mean if else is jealous of me. Uh, well, I'm not talking about that kind of jealousy. I'm talking about a specific kind of partner jealousy that Rachel and Ruben and I were talking about the other day. Okay, well, I'm not talking about. I agree that like you learn the basics of a person's past early on, but it's also the case that your significant other um, your significant other is going to reference past events periodically as they are relevant to current events. And some of those past events are going to involve a previous partner. So I don't know. It was interesting to hear that Acacia was probably took probably the most hard line approach on it. Like basically, I just don't even talk any to me at all about previous partners. It depends if you're trying to learn something from her past. No, I'm not trying to learn anything from her past. I'm just saying that, like, the conversation Rachel and I had was basically this. She talked about something, some event that had happened, and referred to the other party in the story from her past as they, which caused me to intuit that it was a male, and and no, we're not talking about her past events. She doesn't want to hear about his past events. You're really having trouble understanding me today, Boba Fett. Um. Anyway, so after I intuited it must have been a he, I was like, well, who was this person? And I wanted to like just determine if it was, you know, basically if this was somebody she had slept with. It, maybe I shouldn't care, or maybe I shouldn't want to know that. And the answer was no. But but it's like the choices are find out or um let your imagination run wild, or try not to think about it, I guess. But uh it's tricky. It's tricky. It doesn't still stand. She's not traumatized by any past events. She doesn't want to hear about Ruben's past if it involved anybody that he slept with, right? Boba Fett, you are. Are you already drunk? Oh, it's not a morning for you. It is a weird combo. I'll agree, Effie, and if I don't. But we'll see how it works out. They seem to be quite attached to one another. So, when I was feeling sad prior to determining that, in fact, Rachel, this person she was referring to was not somebody that she had slept with before, been in a relationship with, or anything like that. She could sort of read that my emotions were sad, and 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 basically said, like, it's kind of not fair for me not to be able to talk about things in my past, whereas I have to know your entire past because you've been talking about it forever online. She was familiar with me in the channel before we got together. Yeah, it's true that squiggles, that men and women in your country don't have sex out of marriage, but this is my third marriage, and I needed three to get it right. So I'm certainly glad that I live in the West, uh, where both men and women are able to figure it out according to what works best for them, and etc. You know, I wouldn't I wouldn't want to live in a communitarian society like that. I wish rebound sessions, but no. I never did a lot of cocaine because too expensive, didn't like it very much. You know. Keep feeling this way, or just finally open and fully trust the person who leaves you vulnerable. Well, yeah, I mean, well, that's how I said it too. I was like, I mean, that's what I said basically was, look, I might you might be able to read on my face that I'm sad or whatever, but in no way, shape, or form am I telling you not to tell me this stuff. I want to know who you are. I want to know about your past and stuff. And I can't control the way that I feel in the moment. It'll pass. What's the best age to marry? Well, if you use me as an example, 52. How about that? You want to wait till 52 to marry the right person? You beat Down syndrome. And I want you to know that as a survivor of Down syndrome, I believe in science. It's going to be floating in my head because of the age difference? No. No, no, no. The age difference actually has, if anything, mitigates the situation. Because she's younger than me, she has had fewer previous partners than she would have had were she my age. So that's actually totally wrong. Do you remember the movie Double Trouble where John Claude Dam's character, his imagination goes wild and causes him to forget? Like it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not really a huge problem in my relationship. It 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 occasionally comes up. It did yesterday. It's not a problem, right? It's just something worth that I note because first of all, it's an instance of strong emotions making me irrational, and there are very few such instances in life. Occasionally, even yeah, we know that squiggles. That's what makes it a funny joke. Okay, that's where the funny is. Obviously, Down syndrome's not a disease. It's like when I say I caught ADHD from a mosquito when traveling overseas. Obviously, ADHD is not a mosquito borne virus. Ex CIA official, my wife left me for a man that lives out her fantasy of taking crafts in the toilet, not flushing and admiring what they create together. I'm still depressed about it. Maybe I should change up. I'm sorry that you experienced uh, the butt end of infidelity. I have too. I did in my first relationship, and it does negatively impact your ability to trust, and for the rest of your life. I'm assuming it impacts things for the rest of your life. I cheated once when I was 18 or 19, 18, I guess, 19, and I uh, I never did it again. For whatever reason, I had to do that to learn how horrible it is. I wish I hadn't, but that's how it worked out. If I could take back one thing in life, I would take back that. But but I got cheated on as well, and it was it was very traumatic. I've always wondered what it feels like to be jealous. I've never been jealous. My ex had 14 girlfriends, and I didn't mind. I mean, as it's like body count, right? Different people are jealous about different things. Some people feel jealous. It's basically it does link to insecurity, especially if you're talking about jealousy about the past. Okay, so what are you doing back there? Get out of there. People, it's called retroactive jealousy, and people feel it either about sex or emotion. So, in other words, they're insecure specifically about whether they match up sexually or emotionally. I'm talking specifically about retroactive jealousy in this instance. Okay. it segued here into the subject of cheating because of what ex-CIA had to say. No, I'm married, happily married, Denise are. So hello, Purple. How are you? No, well, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's incredibly traumatic, shockingly traumatic. But regardless, ideally, hi, Big Dog Mofo. Ideally, I'm not discussing cheating specifically today. I'm discussing retroactive jealousy, what it's called, where you feel jealous about your partner's past. Um, like your body count is zero. Well, that makes you highly desirable in some sense. That's the There are two best possible body counts to have, 0 and 1. But regardless, retroactive jealousy is a phenomenon in which you feel jealous about your partner's past partners, either specifically about how emotionally close she was to them, or how sexually compatible they were. So you feel jealous about emotion or sex. Do I meditate? Is that like meditating while angry? What are you doing, Trouble? Did he pee here? No, I don't think so. Okay. When he goes back behind there, I okay, don't do that, ex-CIA official, and do not lose faith in women. So, I would also say if you're gonna have a long-term relationship with somebody, you might want to avoid your body count. I'm not worried about it. Okay, I'm trying to discuss a topic here that is a legitimate topic to discuss that um that it's a real thing. Feelings of the past can cause emotions for the future. Okay, that's certainly it's certainly the case that somebody's feelings about the past can impact their present and future. It's also the case, however, that I might have feelings about my partner's past that aren't even linked to anything specific. They're just like, I wish you didn't have a past. No, body count does not mean people they killed. It means people they slept with. Well, I agree. I'm not worried. I think being cheated on can turn some people polyamorous. I mean, it just turned me super jealous. I mean, the thing is, like, probably everybody who's truly in love with their partner wants to feel as though um as though you have exclusive access to them. Yeah, jealousy is a tough thing to deal with. It can create horrible judgment calls. So the point is, um, I feel as though having had these talks and stuff, having had the talk I had with Rachel last night about this subject, which was just sort of like acknowledging that, yeah, whatever I feel about your past is irrational, but I'm just, I just feel inadequate. I guess the when I was in my 20s, I cried my eyes out when I got cheated on. Now maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I don't know. Oh, I like my present way better. That's a good question, Purple. Is what's your relationship with the past in general? My relationship with the past is I hate it. I wish I didn't have memories. I see memories as this burden of crap I have to carry around with me, you know? Like every bad thing that's ever happened is something I'm gonna remember. And I have to carry that around all the time. So fuck the past completely. That's what I think about it generally. Caroline, good afternoon. How wonderful to see you. Today we're talking about retroactive jealousy. Jealous about one's partner's past. Irrationally so. Obviously, your partner's with you. She's chosen you. There's no reason for you to feel, jealous about people from her past that comprised good relationships. I mean, bad relationships ultimately, relationships that didn't last. We remember two things of our past. One is good memories and one is bad. I mean, Purple, I think it depends on who you are. Different personality types remember differently. For people like Rachel, she doesn't have a very strong relationship with her past. She's not spending a lot of time in her memories. Um, so there are people who spend time having good memories. There are people who spend time in their bad memories, and there are people who, by and large, don't spend time in their memories. The people who spend time in their memories a lot probably have access to both good and bad, but bad memories are more intrusive, and that's what it boils down to is my memories of my past I view as just intrusive pain triggers, intrusive associative pain triggers. When I think about Rachel's past, I just see it um, as by and large, and not in terms of her past partners, but just how it went down. I think it was very like an- antithetical to her well-being. Doctor Who where that's a horrible joke. I love dating homeless women. When the date's over, I can drop them off anywhere. So, you know, I just see the past as something to be severed as much as possible. I'm going to mew. This mewing. Hmm. I'm now mewing. Thanks, Trevor Ditch. Uh, so my whole relationship with the past is kind of adversarial. It's not just that I have retroactive jealousy. I don't like my own past either. The the parts of the past that I mean, obviously, I couldn't be who I am right now if I hadn't been informed by the past experience that I've been informed by. Uh, but it's also the case that I wish I could be informed by it while not having to know everything that it informs me of. Yeah, me too, Caroline. But and then somebody up here says, well, Lee Hale, you're really into fishing. You're really into fishing and drywall mud. I mean, I think that both men and women who've been hurt tend to feel angry at the opposite sex in general, you know. However, I do see that men tend to blame, like blame and take it out on all women a little more than women blame and take it out on all men, you know. Is it because women are more to blame? I don't know. Probably a toss up. Obviously, as a man, I'm going to see the perspective that says when cheating occurs that women are more to blame because that's how it's played out in my life, you know. Yeah, people are as needy as their unmet needs. Or, you know, and sometimes people are as needy as as they need to be to get those needs met. Like in any given instance, either I or Rachel might express some insecurity to the other, seeking reassurance, and we'll get that reassurance from the other person. So I don't actually feel like I'm a particularly jealous person overall, but I can get jealous occasionally. And sometimes I can get irrationally suspicious. Like usually when I experience jealousy, it's about her past. But occasionally I'll be like, what has she got going on here on the internet? Is she chatting with some guy? You know, she's definitely not, and that's just me being crazy. And I just dig around through her shit, and it's all so boring. It's all so impossibly boring that I can't even sustain detectiving for very long. Hi, William. How much do I sleep? Says Purple. Well, I sleep. Last night I slept about 8 hours. Everybody's past is their past, as is yours. Yeah, I agree with you. And wonderful horseshoe. And I'm not trying to validate retroactive jealousy. I'm simply acknowledging that it exists in at least some people. You married a porn star? Tell me about it. Did she? I mean, like a retired porn star you married, or is she still engaged in that? If she's still engaged in that, then I don't think you should call that really a relationship, let alone a marriage. But so she's retired. Okay, well, I'm sure Sauce Wave God doesn't want people finding and watching his wife's past work. I mean, I couldn't do that myself. I would be unable to do that. But that's me, you know. I like what Jack Nicholson said about knowing how to talk to women. You talk to them like a man, except you take away. That's ridiculous. It doesn't bother you, huh? So you've watched her past movies, and it doesn't bother you to watch that? That's I just goes to show you how different people can be very different about things. You know, can react to things very differently. What would I do is if I were with a narcissistic woman? Well, I was with a um, BPD woman before Rachel, and eventually I broke up with her. But I suffered a lot of abuse before I did. Um, Thinking basically, I know how to, I know what's right. I know meh meh meh. I'm gonna fix this by setting clear boundaries. Anyway, it didn't work at all. We got into a bunch of huge screaming fights all the time, and she continued to emotionally abuse me. It probably has something to do with my current jealousy things. So Sauce Wave God is saying interesting relevant things here, namely that he's married to somebody who used to do pornography movies, and I'm presuming you guys are monogamous, right? So uh, the only jealousy you have to deal with here would be the past. Google Lemon Party? I don't think I want to. So now you're monogamous, but you haven't always been monogamous when you were with her, or but since you got married, you are monogamous. Okay. Well, Jess Colonel, hello. How are you? What do you mean jealous? Well, what I'm specifically talking about in this title is what the poll suggests, which is called retroactive jealousy. Jealous about your partner's past. usually it manifests as either concern that maybe she was had a more emotionally close relationship, maybe she loved some previous partner more than she loves you, or maybe she had better sex with a previous partner than she has with you. Those are the two kinds of retroactive jealousy usually that manifest potentially in a person. I'm from America. I'm from California, America. Yeah, I couldn't handle that either, Carolyn. But I do get that. So NYTF, so they just want to comment. I was with a narcissistic covert for 4 years, thousands of fights over a month. Now it hurts. Really did a thing on me. Side with you. Yeah, it's so yeah, if you're with somebody who was emotionally abusive, especially physically abusive, potentially, I guess would be also emotionally abusive in some way. But if you're talking about having been with somebody who was emotionally abusive for some stretch of time, that's going to contribute. You're gonna walk away from that with insecurities that with trauma and damage that you have to process over time. And right, so Jess Colonel says, yes, I do get jealous, and I would like to not know her past. And so that's sort of an example of what both Ruben and Acacia indicated they feel, what I experienced about Rachel. But it's not like I don't want to know know the the big the big relationships. I do. I just don't want to really know any details. When she talks about, say, like, this one time I went to meow, 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 and I went to meow and I saw meow. I always think, okay, well, who did she go with? Was it with a boyfriend? And if she doesn't specify who she goes with, I assume probably it was a boyfriend, like that. Evolve your emotions is key. I mean, I don't have control over my emotions at all. I feel what I feel, and I have zero say over it, really. I'm very stunted in terms of my my sophistication with my own emotions. In fact, I was thinking the other day, I wonder if sometimes I feel this jealousy as this kind of FI polar way of understanding how important this person is to me, since I don't seem to be as effective in feeling her preciousness as a positive thing, you know? Right, scam speech. The first thing you say there is exactly what I think, right? It's not necessarily the the if she did it, it's the if she liked it more with the past partners or with you. That's the real pain. Right. If she liked it more with past partners than me, then that causes me to suffer a great deal. I don't think she would ever tell me such a thing. She, she's perfect. She does everything perfect. I don't have any complaints about Rachel at all. I love her so much. Um, anyway, so everybody's got to deal with different kind of things. I wouldn't even ask. Okay, people are assuming there's lots of things here going on that are not. I thought it was a good topic. Okay, I thought it was a good topic because it was a topic that Rachel and Ruben and I had talked about, and Ruben, Acacia, and I all on the team, yes, experiencing retroactive jealousy and kind of it might manifest behaviorally as either wanting a lot of information or not wanting any information. No, I don't play piano. I'm not worried about that. Just because it was wrong doesn't mean you need to retract the messages. I do play guitar. All right, everyone, just calm down a second. All right. Uh, Doctor Who, what were I've never, I've never needed Viagra, but it might be fun. Well, yeah, jealousy is in a lot is a form of insecurity, sure, but it's fundamentally is also like because I love my wife so much, I don't. It's very important to me that I well, it's exactly what scam speech said. It's not necessarily the if she did it, it's the if she liked it more with the past partners or with you. That's the real pain you feel. It's sort of this knowledge that it's probably the case that somebody in the past, rocked her world more than I do. That makes me feel very sad. You know, it's not the sort of thing I would ever ask about directly. It's just, it's just a reality that I don't like. I get that, right? I, I think we all understand that retroactive jealousy is not rational. That a rational, reasonable person respects the fact that each of us had a our own road to get here, and we're together now because we made it through inferior relationships. That our relationship is holistically both each of our best relationships ever. I believe that and I believe it to be the case by a large margin for both of us. And so it it ultimately just doesn't make any sense to section off this and say, well, you know, maybe this or that or the other was better in another relationship. To make it more neutral, like to be think, well, maybe her previous partner had a better car than I have, and she enjoyed riding in it better. Could be something even as inane as that. So, oh right, I'm not. And the thing is, Alex Vasquez also, I'm very fortunate. Rachel is has very comparatively mild, very mild past for given the population of American 34-year-old women, which is how old she was when we started dating. Um, I am very happy to note that Rachel is way over here on the good girl end of the spectrum. So, uh, accordingly, I feel fortunate. She hasn't had a whole shit ton of partners. She didn't make pornography movies or something. She has no tattoos, was never married, has no kids. She's as clean as no STDs. She's as clean as you get, right? Um, I'm not trying to talk about this thing. I mean, if they weaponized that sauce with God, I would leave her. Hey, trouble! God damn that cat! Yeah, I'm gonna take a rip right now. That I probably wouldn't leave her, but that's the that's what the BPD woman did to me. It was use that kind of stuff to abuse me. So I am blabbering about. What are you guy blabbering about? Well, of course, Alex, of course. I'm not even talking about my own jealousy necessarily here, okay? The reason the subject came up for the video is actually because, well, Rachel and I talked about it last night. I wasn't thinking about it at all this morning. But then I watched this episode of this Baki universe thing where, all right, I'll take the rep. God damn it. Thank you for putting me back on task here. She's still in bed, TYYP. Of course. Well, she's in bed. She's asleep. So the thing is, my cunt's in the sink. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. True wealthy mindset frame. Today I'm talking for the sake of talking about jealousy, though. Okay. And it's a subject that is relevant to a lot of people. And it's a subject that's interesting because it takes manifestation as multiple things, either retroactive or about the future, either about sex or about emotions. Um, and it's something that I recently had a conversation with Ruben and Acacia about, and they both expressed, or with Ruben about, but he expressed that both he and Acacia uh, have retroactive jealousy, and hey, trouble, trouble. When was the last time you felt completely alive and fantastic? Oh, I don't know. Probably yesterday, maybe today. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I feel pretty alive and fantastic all the time, really. No, but strangely, Rachel said that when we first got together, she experienced jealousy of the animals. Some people do have that. They feel jealous of the pets as though like the their partner loves their pet more and they love them or something. I see it as a totally like different category of thing. I can't imagine being jealous of that. Jealousy is part of human nature, but that's not all there is to say about it, wealthy mindset frame. If you'd like to watch a live stream in which the person who's streaming it remains silent, I'm sure you could find such a stream. Jealousy caused by their ego. So I agree that jealousy stems from insecurity. usually. And my stream is like that sometimes. Yeah, sometimes my stream is like that where I'm doing chores and not saying anything. But this is not one of those times. So, wealthy mindset frame, you originally said jealousy is part of human nature and that's it. But then you added on an additional piece of information. Jealousy is caused by the ego. So you agree then that it's a topic about which things can say things, about which one can and should say multiple things. She didn't, sadly. She was beyond jealous of her and believed I was in love with her when I haven't loved anyone more than that partner. I don't know why women ask if they don't want the truth. What do you think about confronting jealousy to your partner? I'm not sure what that means, confronting jealousy to your partner. Like, Rachel and I have very good communication. So if I'm feeling jealous, I'll express that I'm feeling that about whatever, But I also recognize when, that my jealousy is irrational and unreasonable. So do you look at other women? No, not out in the world. Like, if you're saying, when we're walking around, do I check out chicks that I see? No, I actively don't do that because that would be disrespectful to Rachel. But it's also the case that occasionally I do watch pornography movies. And um, yeah, I mean, I get your point, Sauce Wave God. But my point would be that those aren't people I'm engaging with at all, right? I have nothing. There's no. It would be unacceptable. I would consider it kind of a form of cheating for sure if I were to have like some live room chat with some naked lady. But as long as I'm not engaging with the human beings at all, it's masturbation is masturbation. Whether you imagine something in your brain, whether you look at it in a magazine, or whether you watch a pornography film, it's still just masturbation. Oh, she can. So with God, I don't police Rachel's masturbatory habits at all. I don't, I don't, I don't ask, don't know, don't care. She can fantasize about other men. She can watch pornography, whatever. I don't care about that. Yeah, obviously, if good for the goose, good for the gander. I don't care what she does when she's masturbating, as long as she's not engaging with any other actual living human being. That doesn't matter at all to me. I'm not jealous of that kind of thing. How could I be jealous of that? No, why would I be jealous of that? That doesn't make any sense to be jealous of. I'm not curious to know about it. I don't. I don't really want to walk in on her watching porn and masturbating. I don't think she does, but I've never. Don't ask, don't tell. I don't care. Whatever she's doing masturbating is her business. I can't police her thoughts, for example. I couldn't be like, you know, or you can only imagine me when you're masturbating. I couldn't possibly conceive of doing that. Sure, that's whatever. That's fine. How could I possibly police that? Same with the porn. Because masturbation is masturbation. It's a whole different thing than sex. or being in a relationship with somebody or having had sex with them. One thing is something you do by yourself, it's autoerotic. The other is something you do with other people. Like I said, I'm not, I don't care at all how she expresses her autoeroticism with herself. That's not my business nor concern. No, I'm not distressed. I'm just trying to understand what Big Dog Mofo means by saying that's Palestine stuff. This is JK, but I don't get it at all. What's Palestine stuff? You may have answered her honestly, but it was not a diplomatic answer. You pin yourself into a corner now. She probably doesn't know how to handle her feelings or your thoughts. Is this the Scientology stream? This is not a Scientology stream, no. Yeah, wealthy mindset fam is just being needlessly toxic. So I'm gonna put it on timeout. It's like on the one hand, I don't mind people coming in and trying to attack me in various ways because I can handle it. I've been doing this for a long time. But I understand that the other people in the chat don't like the toxicity either. So, and then you get people saying things like, "He's just being a dick" or whatever. I hope it includes some dumps today as well. I haven't dumped yet. Yeah, I am pretty good at spotting that shit, and I'm also generally pretty good at timing like how much of it to put up with before I'm sure. Women fantasize about men just like men fantasize about women, and it's like as in every autoerotic event, keeping in mind that the line is you're not engaging with an actual person. If you're talking to some naked lady in the chat room who's actually live and talking to you, that that doesn't count. That counts as cheating. Okay. But as long as you're not engaging with any actual other human being, then it's you're just engaging in autoeroticism, and everybody's entitled to all of their whatever imagination, fantasies, whatever porn they want to watch or whatever. That's not that has nothing to do with me whatsoever, and that's totally fine. And I don't have any jealousy about that. I do not own stock in Cracker Barrel. Thanks, Big Dog Mofo. Reminds me of Dio Mob Rules. Yeah, it's a different kind of cheating than actually having a sexual or romantic encounter, but it's still what I'm saying is it crosses the line. It counts as a betrayal of the expectation of monogamy. Because that's not autoeroticism. That was sex with someone else. It's like nobody can compete with you in terms of autoeroticism. You can't expect to. It's just a different category of thing, right? There's no competition there. So Buddy Cat asks a hard question, which is, what do you think is an acceptable body count for a partner you're about to marry? And I don't know the answer to that question. I am believe and am pleased by the fact that Rachel's is relatively low for somebody of her age slash generation. But there is, I guess, Winston's mom brings up a pretty important word here. Irrational though it may be, jealousy is, in some sense, jealousy, retroactive jealousy is in some sense about purity. Someone would think, what's cheating? Goblin says 3. Jess Colonel says 0. I think most people in the Muslim countries are going to say 0. That's not the way of God, and that proves that different people have different perspectives on these things, and and are looking for different stuff. You know, Puttycat says, to be fair, I would not want a serious relationship with someone that got around. Me neither. But I didn't say you were Muslim, Jess Colonel. I said most people in the Islamic world probably would say 0. Most men would say 0. Big Dog Mofo says 5 to 15. You know, I think that the problem is this. I think most males, if you aren't like a Giga Chad slay master, then most males, by the time they really settle down into their what they hope to be their last relationship, are going to have every reason to believe that their partner has had more partners than they have, because women are unavoidably going to have more partners than men, because um, they're pursued rather than the pursuers. If you're not a Giga Chad, then yeah, you know. Woody Cat says a bit of a different topic, but I have found that recently divorced women are wild in the sack. I'm sure they are. So I don't know. It's a tough topic, right? It's like a lot of people have strong feelings about it one way or another. For those of you who are saying like simple things like you just gotta meow 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 meow, well, then you better not also be one of those people saying I'd have I'd only have a few partners would only a few partners would be acceptable for a long term relationship. It's just what it is, yeah. I really want a woman with experience with something else to look for. So, all right. Well, here's the thing: the man with the great machete. Both Rachel and I, um, both Rachel and I, prior to this relationship, I believe this wholeheartedly to be the case. That neither of us were in relationships prior to this that were good, compatible with, were good relationships or with compatible people. We had a tendency to choose bad, not necessarily the best matches for ourselves, you know. So I wholeheartedly believe that this relationship is categorically different for each of us, for both of us, than any previous relationship. I'm not easy to fool at all. If Rachel left me, do I think I would go back to another woman? If she left me? I mean, go back to a previous woman? No. I definitely wouldn't go back to a previous woman. If you mean, would I move on to a new woman? I mean, it would depend on how that happened, I guess. But probably, you know, it seems like at the end of every previous relationship, I said, except for maybe Kimberly, I said, "That's it. I am staying single for a while. I am not starting to date again." And then I ended up just well, what actually after there was this after my second marriage, and then I hooked, got with this one chick that I wanted to get with. It was a big hassle to no avail ultimately. So I was like, that's it. I'm gonna just be like, not think about sex at all for the indefinite future. And I went like almost a year without trying to date, thinking about chicks, worrying about chicks. Not even fapping much. But then I got with Kimberly. Anyway, it would depend what happened. It's almost impossible for me to conceive of that happening. Yeah, I don't think any of us want to be in a million relationships. What am I lying about? Yeah, Kimberly's the my ex girlfriend. What do you think I'm lying about? About whether I'd get with another chick if Rachel left me? I mean, I can't conceive of how that would come to be at the moment. Like, if the worst case nightmare scenario occurred, and like, let's say she gets up today and she says, um, Eric, listen, I've been talking for months with this guy Darren in Idaho, and I'm leaving you. I'm gonna go move to be with him. Goodbye. Uh, I would be. I mean, I can't even conceive of what that would be. I think I'd be just so stunned. It would take me such a long time to come to terms with it. I'd be gobsmacked. Yeah. Well, I would say how many serious relationships I've been in? One, two, three. This is my fourth, fifth. This is my fifth. Okay. My first girlfriend, my first wife, my second wife, Kimberly, and Rachel. This is my fifth serious relationship. I have had intercourse with other people than those five. Not a lot, but remember, I'm 53 years old. I think I wouldn't be the only one that would be just absolutely stunned. I think everybody around the channel would just be gobsmacked, you know. um, it seems impossible. I don't care about emotions really. Soft wave God. For me, it's not about emotions. It's about, I mean, it's about how and why I can trust the other person. So it's not. I don't trust emotions at all. I don't trust mine. I don't trust Rachel. I don't trust anyone's emotions. Emotions shouldn't be trusted because they change. They're very volatile. They change all the time, and decisions once made um, create impacts that don't change. Uh, yeah, and a bad experience can make people bitter for sure, and and even if it doesn't make them bitter, it'll make them insecure. It'll carry it into their next relationship. Hi, Rascal Flatbed. Nice to see you. Best way to get trust is to be open. Trust me. Oh yeah, I mean, Rachel and I trust each other. You know, as much as as much as I can trust anybody, I trust Rachel, and I think vice versa. Jealousy isn't about a lack of trust, right? Jealousy is an emotion, and it does correlate to behaviors that aren't indicative of trust. But that's why we don't trust emotions. We trust our commitments and our words and not our emotions. If you don't get jealous of your ex's past, well, you don't really care. Rascal Flatbed, that's certainly a perspective on the matter. And I think it's a good point to make, too, right? If you, uh, well, Sauce Wave God, I'm not sure that's true, okay? It's like, first of all, maybe it is true. I don't know. Maybe I can't handle that. I certainly, at what point does talk about everything be open turn into an inquisition of some sort? Free Palestine. What are you gonna give me if I free Palestine? What's in it for me? Okay. I want Raja Yunus to. If you want me to free Palestine, okay, maybe I will. But what is in it for me? Tell me. What are you gonna give me? Mm, you want me to free North Korea as well? While I'm at it, while I'm freeing countries, should I free Palestine and North Korea at the same time? It's going to cost you. I mean, then you're asking for me to both do my regular job, plus work overtime, plus work on a holiday. Hi, Tyree Green. How are you? Interested calculus, Eric. Now it's getting interesting. Right. My Can we? Oh, we're gonna add China. Jesus, you guys are racking up quite a bill here. If we're gonna be freeing all these places, how much is it gonna cost me in nuclear weapons to free all of these places? Let me do a little tally. I'm gonna have to get back to you with the bill. It's true, probably. Eric, what's going on? I just got a new job, so I've been busy working 14-hour days. I haven't been able to troll your live feeds. Last one I saw your live show was with the girl and the new drummer. Look, liberation is often a very radioactive affair, okay? You just need to accept that. Well, I'm happy to hear about your new job, Rascal Flats, and working long hours usually means making good money, so you probably feel kind of mixed bag about it, you know, happy that you're working a new job and making money, but also thinking, boy, I don't have a lot of time off. Oh, I'm making out some urine for you. No ordinary urine will do. I'll get back to the chat and normal streaming activities when I'm going to the bathroom. I can't read the phone from here. So I guess I'll entertain you with a song. Here's a jazz standard by famous jazz pianist Earl Garner. You may be familiar with it. It's entitled Misty. So while you're feeling jealous today, why don't you remember this song and shift that emotion from jealousy to the emotion of mistiness? Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. Or it might be the sound of your hello. The music I hear, I get misty the moment you're near. On my own, would I wander through this wonderland alone? Never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. You can say that you're leading me on, but it's just what I want you to do. You can see now how hopelessly I'm lost. That's why I'm following you. Look at me. That's enough of Earl Garner's classic song, Misty. I hope you enjoyed hearing it, as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you today. Which is to say, a medium amount. Yeah, the other thing about all this jealousy stuff is I was in the bathroom, yes, but Ink Sammy, I would point out you were not in the bathroom. So there was the privacy. You were looking down the hall. Yes, I hear you meowing, okay? The other thing to think about ye old jealousy, especially retroactive jealousy, is for me, in my case, I know that neither Rachel nor I. Let me get you some food, kitty. Hold on a second. Neither Rachel nor I is particularly adept at remembering sensory experiences. Rachel even less than I, because she's not SI conscious. She's SIA. The other thing about retroactive jealousy that's relevant here, I think, is that it's kind of like saying, "What's the best food you ever ate?" I'm like, you eat a fair amount of meals in your life. Many of them are delicious, many of them are not so delicious, and such is life. It's the case that even with a single partner within a relationship, there's a range of experiences, like some instances are better than others. It's still hurting him a little bit. He's still favoring it. He's licking it and stuff, but it's still not swollen at all. So I don't know. I'm not quite ready to take him to the vet. It's like you can't see any particular thing about it, but you can see sometimes when he's walking that he's still favoring it. Okay, well then we can just ignore everything you just said, Lazarus. By your own reasoning, we can just ignore everything you just said. So Lazarus is just babbling gobbledygook according to his criterion. Of course, I don't uphold that criterion, so I'm not making no sense. And my argument's purposeful because, after all, that's not my position. And what I'm saying does make sense, and its purpose is to dismiss what he said. It achieves that purpose by correctly rebutting it. Isn't that right, Lazarus? What silly nonsense. People say shit that self-falsifies, double binds them within a statement is ridiculous. Am I jealous of my partner's past? Somewhat. I don't think especially, Amani. I don't think I'm particularly he might have twisted it. You know, I'm worried about him, not too worried because, yeah. Do I respect Satanists? I respect every individual, regardless of their group label, okay, as long as they're not doing something rights violatory. The past is in the past. The present is a gift. I'm not especially jealous about Rachel's past. I'm fortunate. I feel fortunate because both I have a partner who is very expressive about how much she loves and values me. Um, who's very who's very physical in her affections with me. You know, no, I would not fake my death to start a new life. Actually, Lazarus, yeah. I mean, I was a professional debate coach for many years. I'm currently retired. I don't think Rachel is very jealous about my past, but I think we're both we both have some of that, right? But compared to what it could be, I think we're in pretty good shape because both Rachel and I think, have comparatively vanilla pasts, and additionally, because um, we're both we're both very good about being partners. You know, we're both good relationship partners. We're careful with what we say. We're positive, affirming, reassuring, etc. Do I swear what on the eyes of my child? I don't tend to swear things on anything. Swear anything on the eyes of my child. I'm not gonna kick Garuda. It's ridiculous. Well, okay, Simple Girl 357, there's nothing healthy about certain jealousy driven behaviors, okay? But people have whatever emotions they have in certain circumstances and cannot control those. They can control their behavior and words, but uh, they can't control their emotional response to something. What I was saying wasn't meant for this context. Speaking broadly, the end result is what matters, and that in that sense, there is no right or wrong to discuss, given you cannot change the past. Oh, right. I mean, I'm not sure that. I don't think it's probably not a good idea to ask a bunch of questions about your partner's past beyond the basics of their, how many long term relationships they've been in and stuff. Um, but I tend to side somewhat with as what Rascal Flatts says. If you don't feel jealous about their past, you don't really care about them. uh, if you really love somebody, it's unavoidable that you're gonna feel possessive jealousy. That's native to not just humans, but almost every species of animal. Jealousy precedes ambition. Okay, that might be envy, Garuda, that you're talking about. Yeah, Goblin, I think the distinction between envy and jealousy is an important one. No, Lazarus is saying he meant I think he didn't say wasn't. I think he meant it was. I think it was a typo or auto text or something. Because it makes sense if he said was. It was meant for this context that arguments about the past don't matter. And he's right about that. He's absolutely right about that. So I misinterpreted what you said too, Lazarus, when you came in. I didn't realize it was context specific to this. When context specific to this, you're absolutely right. There's nothing to be gained from like arguing about stuff that already happened in the past, provided it didn't involve you, right? Obviously, it makes a difference. There's a whole different line to be drawn if you're talking about arguing about something that happened in the past between you and your current partner. Like, I don't like it how that one time you did this thing, and we need to reach agreement on the fact that that was bad and why it was bad, so that I feel like we are on the same page about that. Yeah, that's there as well. And sometimes, um, sometimes people come in and say things that are contextually relevant to the title, and sometimes people come in and say things that are totally not relevant to the title, and I don't always, I don't always intuit correctly. Don't I have an AA meeting to go to? No, I don't go to AA meetings. Do you reflect about my question on Christianity? What was your question on Christianity? You mean why can I be a Christian even though I don't believe in the Bible? I have answered that question many times. I don't believe in the Bible, and I am a Christian because I self-identify as one and pray to Jesus and God and the Holy Ghost, and believe Christianity to represent the basic tenets of Christianity. That God gave His Son to die for forgiving our sins, etc. If you don't want to call me Christian, you don't have to. I don't care what you call me. But, as long as you don't misrepresent my positions on things, you can label me whatever label you want. So, Sandy McGlue says, don't you have an AA meeting together? No, I don't go to AA meetings. Did you think I went to AA meetings? Hey, Casey Jones, I saw you at that lady stream. Like, what's up with that lady? Did you watch her video that she uploaded? What is that? What is that lady's story? I kind of want to interview her. Like, she seems so. What is going on with her? Oh, she timed you out. Why did she time you out? Okay, well, I'm not worried. Yeah, what doesn't make me jealous, Simple Girl 357, are people hitting on Rachel all the time in the live stream. That doesn't make me jealous. Her shorts are kind of funny. I, I should just watch more of her content to get the sense of what she's all about. A higher power energy is helpful on an individual basis. I need to get specific with everything related to spirituality, kind of to this point. I mean, you and I are on the same page here, Lazarus. I have a magical thinking frame for a simple reason. It's it's a potential frame that one might incorporate, and it's the only frame that could possibly be informative about certain otherwise unanswerable questions. But most of all, because I needed to incorporate that to quit drinking alcohol. Okay, I call myself a Christian because it evolved into that self-identification. I think that particular narrative is particularly effective one, etc. I think it's the best religious narrative, and and so I engage in the faith-based behavior called prayer. Obviously, because it's faith-based, it means it's predicated on a lack of evidence or in the face of contrary evidence, and accordingly, it's not something that can be validated or invalidated by like whether you like this like homie here, whatever his name is, crazily thinks that like I can't be a Christian if I don't agree with that I believe in the Bible. And I say, well, I don't know whatever you want to call me. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I want to go back to distinguishing between two kinds of jealousy. Simple Girl 357. I'm also very confident in my relationship in that regard. I don't. People hit on Rachel all the time, point out, Okay, well, people both hit on her and just point out that she's pretty. I have people directly like soliciting her sometimes too, like, "Hey, girl, that old man's can't be knocking your socks off, but I'm a gig Chad or whatever." Excuse me for the time you believe in prayer. Prayer is not something you believe in; it's something you do. It's sort of the practice of believing or the practice of engaging in something that you treat as though exists in the face of contrary evidence or in the absence of evidence. Well, that's just disrespect. Okay. Well, I don't know if it counts as hitting on her or not, but I've seen people check her out when we're out in the world, and I've also I don't think I can't remember anybody really hitting on her in front of me. Online's not the same. I just can't imagine that happening. Really, like it could conceivably because somebody might think that I'm her dad, right? Just like she says, like, oh, the cashiers and stuff at the supermarket flirt with me, used to, because they thought that Rachel must be my daughter or something. Um, did the Gin Blossoms explain Hey Jealousy for you? I don't know. How does Rachel feel when the man that bags groceries at the local grocery store hits on you? That's not happened to me. My narc partner grew homicidal since she was paranoid as well. I had to pack my things and leave. Not good, feller. Well, I'm glad you left. Yeah, I had a 30-year apart relationship, and a lot of people thought I was her father. That's understandable. 30 years is a lot. It's twice as much as mine. Yes, I got your Gin Blossoms reference, but um, I would only feel jealous if I saw Rachel looking like, you know, flirtatious with the person. If they hit on her and she was responsive in some fashion, like flirted back or something, then I would be jealous. Eric, has someone ever railed someone you like and you get jealous? Um, yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, a long time ago, but I mean, very long time ago. It was like 30 years ago that I remember that specifically happening. This girl I liked and I wanted to get on, but I didn't move on it fast enough and somebody screwed her. How would I feel if an attractive woman hit on Rachel? Flattered, I guess. I wouldn't even conceive of Rachel being responsive to that. She's just not. She doesn't seem to have much lesbian in her at all. Same, but I'd be angry because that's toxic behavior called triangulation, I think. What's toxic behavior called triangulation? Looks are hardly everything, but it does play a role in a relationship. People have to have attraction. I feel vigilant. I feel more vigilant, probably. Like I wouldn't necessarily be offended, but as long as Rachel reacted in the right way, then I wouldn't be offended. But if Rachel reacted in the wrong way, then I'd be very jealous. But I'd be very mad at Rachel. I wouldn't be directed at the guy. If she started flirting with someone in front of me, I'd be unspeakably angry. I don't know what I'd say to her, but I'd say she'd get the sternest talking to imaginable. Why do people call me Host Eric? Because that's how I introduce myself every time on the channel. I did for years, but I mean, I'm less diligent about it now. Typically, I start every episode of live stream or whatever with "Hello, my name is Host Eric, and welcome to Talking with Famous People." Thanks, Carlos Paiva. I am stunning today. I was at a club with a woman I was dating, and some dude kept grabbing her. Needless to say, I decked him and then proceeded to get exited by a couple of bouncers. Well, good for you. I think it's fine to say someone's pretty. And if anybody tried to grab her, that would be a different matter, you know? Or if I think I'm going to lose a special status, I would undermine the actual love and based on the stuff I give them for that their services. Where did I meet Rachel? On YouTube. She's a fan of the channel before I even know what she looked like, right? She was just a name that left chats or comments. And I hope you have a great day too, you fave Molly. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. No, I could make a dish. Did you see this new dish you could make with ground beef called skibbity slicers? No. Is it really called skibbity slicers? It's funny. Daniel says something here like, I used to get really jealous, but then I remember they own my property. Well, I mean, there are a lot of behaviors. No, I'm just smoking weed. I use a torch because it's just the best lighter to use, you know? Introduce myself with Lord Eric. How many numbers are in your bank account? Well, I'm assuming that there are probably all 10 numbers represented 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, not 10, 9. At different moments, depending. But I bet all the numbers are used at some point or another in my banking. All 10 of them. Be careful with the torch. Why? Fine. Mercy me. When will I fight Master Yoda again? Well, he's dead now. Unfortunately. I have to fight his ghost. Before I fight his ghost, I have to fight Obi-Wan Kenobi's ghost. I don't know what I would do if somebody grabbed Rachel. like somebody like put his hand on her or something. But I can't imagine it happening in such a way that Rachel didn't respond first. There's no way I'd be more on top of it than she would be because she'd be the one being touched, right? Right. The question is about past lovers, or the topic, the title was, but uh, it obviously, it obviously expands some to different kinds of topics related to jealousy. Okay. Did you hear about the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef? What about it? I mean, yeah, I'm familiar with the fact that there's a beef between the two of them. But are there some new developments in it? Oh, that property thing was meant for about their past lovers. Okay, fair enough. If a guy hit my wife, I'd help. That's unfortunate to hear. I have a question. What would you do if when you okay, he said yes, would go? What? I have no idea what that means, mic'd up. Music beefs are all fake. I mean, maybe, sure. I don't know. It's certainly the case that different people have respect or don't have respect for different other people in their same industry. It would make sense that such beefs might be legitimate, right? I want to know what mic'd up means here. I have a question. What would you do if when you okay, he said yes would go? I have no idea what that means. Am I Count Dookie or related in some way? No, I'm not. I'm host Eric, Jedi Knight. It's only rap music. Well, it's because they're specifically about the words, right? And just that's the culture of the thing. He probably meant, do I follow through and hit that person? Or you mean like if Rachel was grabbing somebody? I mean, somebody was grabbing Rachel, and would I hit them? Your dick fell off, says Chris Haya. I'm Generation X. If okay, so if somebody were like flirting with Rachel, let's say, touching her and stuff, and she was responding positively, I would say, Rachel, what in the world are you doing? And, you gotta come, we gotta go right now. What are you doing? We'd have to leave immediately. If if this person was touching her and she responded appropriately, which was like, pull away and be like, what are you doing? Then, if that's as far as it went, then if you were like, oh, my bad, sorry, I thought, whatever, I'd probably just leave it at that. Let her deal with it, let her come back. But it would depend. I might go say something. If he was like grabbing her and wouldn't stop grabbing her, and she was like, "Ah, you got me," then I would physically assault him. Obviously, I'm gonna protect her to the best of my ability, even though I'm not a scrapper. Is it easy being tall? It's whatever it is. I don't know. It's easy, it's hard, it's not either of those things. It's just whatever it is. I guess it's better to be tall overall, but both tall and short have advantages, um, and nobody really knows anything but their own experience. It's hard to compare those kind of things, you know. So, oh yeah, if my woman isn't 100%, 100% mine in every way, then she's 100% not mine in every way. I can't handle any middle grounds, you know? Right. I can't handle any kind of emotional middle grounds, Boba Fett. I can only handle 100% mine or 100% not mine. No, I decided to get rid of the droids, get rid of the clones. It's just going to be me and my collection of lightsabers from now on. What's high centered? Why name the channel Talking with Famous People? Boba Fett says, BS, you're a very emotional man. If I polar don't know how to handle that shit. And I handle something like Rachel being harassed. Well, I mean, what I say about that is that's what I would like to think I would do is respond appropriately according to the level of escalation of the of the boundary violation. You know. Now, how I handle jealousy is laugh and have faith that Jesus will cure it because He can do that. Okay, well, that's good. Well, I am very emotional, but uh, if somebody hit on her and she reacted appropriately, it wouldn't bother me necessarily. You know, I'd be reading her behavior, not his. I see. High centered. That's what that means. Oh, that's a horrible question. It should be if your partner cheats, do you leave? Do you necessarily leave? It's spicy enough to get some views. You're right about that, Winston's mom. All right. I'll put that poll question. This one, the answer is no. 72%, 71%. Um, I'm surprised. Well, okay, Nate. Hello, Stoner's Code. I think I'm gonna put if a partner cheats, do you necessarily is it always best to leave when a partner cheats? Is it always best to leave when a partner cheats? Yes or no? I'm gonna write that. I don't want your help me write, Google. No, I'm immune to any of that whole family's force usage. Their force doesn't work on me. It's like trying to use water on electricity. Electricity just shocks right through the water. Did I see the very appropriate comment in the chat in yesterday's stream? No, what was the very appropriate comment? That's not a yes or no answer. What is it? This one? Yeah, it is. It's always best or it's not. There are some exceptions or there are none. Okay, Shane. Somebody else tried to get me to do this before. What is in it for me, Shane, if I free Palestine? What is in it for me? You want me to free them? I might be willing to do so. But do you expect me to free them for free? You're asking a lot of charity from me if you expect me to let them go for free. So what are you going to pay me to free them? The porch trying to plug in something. Someone said charging that vibrator on a porch Sigma. No, Garlic King, I'm not the real Count Dooku. God. If I pay you $1, will you free Palestine? No, that's too cheap. I think given how many people are asking me to free Palestine, I think I should charge at least $1 billion in advance. Okay, Shane? I want my $1 billion in advance, then I'll free Palestine. I'm going to need to buy some nuclear weapons with it. I might need $10 billion, actually. Maybe 50 billion is better, but we'll go 10. I'll do it. I think I can do the job for $10 billion. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but if you give me the $10 billion, I'll figure something out. Do I feel cheated today? No, not at all. It was a poll question recommended in part by Winston's mom. I changed it a little bit, but I'm surprised to see that 36% of people are saying, Shane's not spamming. Oh, yeah, he did poops twice. Yeah, he is. Okay, my bad. Well, I wouldn't quite call it spamming yet. But you were just preventing him from spamming. I got you. I'm not Uncle Steven, said Kennedy's. My name's Eric. ERICQCHQR. Eric. Am I Richie Rich? No, I'm not Richie Rich. I'm Eric. Am I still associated with the Sith? No, I never was. I'm my own independent branch of Jedi called the Eric Jedis. We have our own special force that we use. We have our own kind of lightsabers that are better than other people's lightsabers. Why? Because we use only the highest quality light. That's why. We don't use that cheap foreign light that other lightsabers companies use. We use real American light. And it comes in a variety of vivid colors to choose from. You can get hot pink. You can get teal. You know, we're the only lightsaber company that offers teal. We aren't really a lightsaber company, of course. We're an order of Jedi, but we're also a lightsaber company. Where do you think Jedis get their lightsabers from? They have two major suppliers. Either us or those stinky, generic, other brand lightsabers that we don't advertise at all around here. Ah, that's good coffee. This is Eric Jedi coffee. It brings all the flavor of the Sith plus all the flavor of the regular Jedi and combines it into a delicious cup of coffee. I can show you the world. It's right there. There's the world. You see it? I do. It looks like Mother Earth. A lot of cups of coffee a day. Well, he's kind of off track from the video and spam me, lol. I'm here for you. I use magic, says Dead Kennedys. Which Jedi trained me? I trained all the other Jedi. I don't know how many cups of coffee I drink today. A day. 5 or 6 probably. Like I think Dead Kennedys may have influenced my answer here, but I think that might be right anyway. 5 or 6 seems about right. Of course, coffee is what? It is a cigarette associated thing. It made me think of having a cigarette, you know. Ruse Moose, how are you? What is up? How's it going? And etc. etc. I've seen people doing that on 118th Avenue, Edmonton, with the medieval stuff. Then went into the pawn shop and seen whole suit and stuff sitting there. Yeah, I was playing with the Suno. Seductive yodeler. Is that a music style that you could put in there? Seductive yodeling. You were outside already with the Earth Mother. It's incredible. Feels weird in a way, but exhilarating. You mean being outside? Let's go outside for a second. Why not? Why not? Let's go outside for a minute. Let's walk around the house. Let's hit this vape in the American way. Sun feels nice. Feels nice and warm. The breeze is nice and cool. It's like a combination of warm, cool. It's wonderful. I think the thing that people fear, maybe most of all, is being blindsided by something. Like to have never had any suspicion, to have wholly trusted, and then to be betrayed would be the worst betrayal of all. To some extent, jealousy emerges from that, you know. You love the moon god. You love the sun god. Who loves the one god but you? That's kind of a nice look. A nice view or whatever. Camera picture. They call that a camera picture in Hollywood. This is a camera picture. How do you like the camera picture? Am I going to get an award for worst cinematography? I think so. There. Now it's the right height for me to deal with it without bending over. Garlic King loves the sun god. Mohammed Gamer says, hello from Iran. Hello from America. How are you, Iran? I hear you have a capital city called Tehran. I also hear, of course, that your president recently died in a helicopter accident. Condolences. What's the temperature in Iran? Did you see the first ever picture? It kind of looked like this. Did it? I've never seen the first ever picture. Just a picture of the forest. The earth will take care of you. Learn to forage for edibles, plants, and stuff. Some medicinal plants as well. And balance will follow. I have trouble reading that phone because I don't have my glasses on. But I can barely do it. My eyes are rested-ish, so with a little effort I can make it out, but it's pretty small words. And there's a special kitty. Yes, it's a very special kitty who's full of wonder and goodness and truth and all the emotions of the world. Hello, Capillo. How's it going? Have you come to watch my flowers growing? What you doing, Capillo? Now where are you going? Going over here? Going over there? Going each and everywhere. She's sitting by the hibachi, keeping it company. She sees a butterfly. Oh, leave the butterfly alone. Oh, nope. She's not going to leave the butterfly alone. She's going to try to get it. Oh, there she goes with a big run up the tree. Wow, that was quite the gymnastics thing you just did, Capillo. It's like she's doing parkour. Kitty parkour. She has gained some weight. You know, I'm the oldest man in Mariposa. Kitty is, I can't read what that word says. Oh, adorbs. Yeah, she is adorable. And she has put on a few pounds. But you know, she still made it up the tree pretty good. Right now, Trouble, I think he's really not gonna be very dexterous because he's both extra overweight and has a hurt leg somewhere on his leg. I can't see this phone screen there. So right now we're just having a little bit of a kitty watch party. You got a Maine Coon, snatched her from the wild as a kitty. Good job. What am I feeding these horses? This is not a horse. This is a cat, okay? That's like the sort of thing that Tiffany does. She calls animals by the name of another animal. What are you smelling? Hmm? What are you smelling? Are you being kitty of the wild, smeller of things, hunter of small lizards and mice? Trouble probably has some Maine Coon in him. I don't know for sure. What are you doing, Capio? Are you rubbing your face on there? Because you want to get your smell on that thing? We've got a lot of butterflies flying around. Butterflies don't have anything to do with butter. A lot of people think butterflies must have something to do with butter. Otherwise, why would they be named butterflies? The truth is, nobody knows why they're named butterflies. Only that butterflies don't have anything to do with butter. I think in the olden days, people must have thought that butterflies came out of butter. Where do these bugs keep coming from? My guess is butter. Why are you guessing butter? Well, they just look like the kind of bugs that would, emerge from butter. What is going on here with this part? We're smushed down. Who did that? That wasn't me. It was either one of the cats or some other animal. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. I cannot believe how lovely it is. There aren't even any bugs bothering me. It's crazy. It's it's about as perfect as it could possibly get. Got these little white flowers, orange flowers on the hill over there. Peacocks are also not about peas, okay? But excellent question. Peacocks are about cocks. I hear a lot of tweeting of birds. There's Kitty Wonderpants. Oh, that's a big butterfly. You see it? Oh, flew down there now. Mariposa means butterfly. I don't know if you can see that one or not. Because this place is famous for when they got here for having so many butterflies. Let's look over here now. I need to water these plants. Wow, this thing gets dry fast. I just watered these things yesterday. I'm amazed at how dry the one on the ground gets. I guess you think with clay heavy soil, but who knows? This is already starting to get shrivelly. It looks wet though. Give it more water. You can see the top of this plant here getting wilty. The one on the right seems to have had a little more trouble with the transplant than the one on the left. But hopefully they'll both ultimately make it through. I like these pink flowers. They're nice. I like that we don't have anything planted here. It's just all this is just growing here by itself. Why bother messing with stuff like a lawn? Just let the hill do what it's gonna do. It's like who wouldn't think like over there seems like a nice place to sit, right? It seems like a nice place to sit. It's probably not actually a nice place to sit. It's probably like bugs and stuff. But anyway. I can water these plants too. Might as well while here. Water the other plants too, Think about putting another one of them in the ground. But I haven't done so yet. And who knows when I'll get around to it. I'm not even sure I want to wrap those back up. I'll just leave it right there. And water these things every day. But it looks messy. Just wrap up the hose. Don't be a lazy blazy. Just wrap up the hose, lazy blazy. When you second, will you please read what Muhammad is saying? Yes, I will read it when I get inside. Sorry. Yeah, I'll read stuff when I get inside. I can't really read the chat very well when I'm outside without my glasses. I do read a couple of things, but I'll go back in and cover the rest of the chat in a second. All right, hose. Fine. I will wrap you up again. Even though I'm just going to have to unwrap you tomorrow. Okay. So if I didn't get to your comment while I was outside and I got to somebody else's, it wasn't on purpose. It was just incidental. Happenstance or what have you. All right, let's see what's going on. Lower this down. Thanks, Winston's mom, for the heads up, by the way, on that. And for the general media. All right, so now I need to lower this like so. Here we go. And we'll see what's going on here. All right, so I went outside. Muhammad says, okay, thanks. The Kennedys are to care of you. Mariposa. Oh, you're in Mariposa right now? Garlic King, you're in Mariposa? I mean, maybe you should like stop by or something, right? Your grandpa's the oldest man in Mariposa? Wow. I didn't get that before when you said that. I thought you were talking about me. Talking about your grandpa. And I mean, half the people are happy, half are sad for the death of the president. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, she gave me teeth, kisses. Okay. Other snakes out there. There might be snakes out there, yeah. In Iran, half the people are happy, half are sad from the death of the president. I don't know what's going on here. All right. Are there snakes out there? I don't know. I hope they hurry up, Muhammad, and save some Canadian tax dollars. I bet your cats are very happy with all this nature. I'm not sure. They do seem to like to kill things. They bring them inside. I will not read it again out loud, but I note that yes, I didn't read it before. When cows fly, perhaps butterflies. I tend to when I'm outside read small things because my eyes don't. It doesn't require as much strain in my eyes. Roger says that. Thank you. Okay, enough now. Enough. That's a poor strategy to use. Okay. Okay. Enough. Let's talk about plants and video and cats. Not something sad and depressing. Clean up your own backyard. Gonna dip out of here soon. Is it that messy back there? It doesn't seem that messy, really. Again, how many times are you gonna copy and paste that thing? For Christ's sakes, just chill out a second and give me a minute. I'm the cook in the house, but Rachel will make. It depends who is like. That was more than fifth subscriber. You lost a subscriber, you're out. Okay, fine. See you later. Who is the best cook in your house? You or Rachel, and who does the cooking mostly? I'm the better cook. Who does the cooking mostly is me. But if I don't feel like cooking, I'll ask Rachel to make me something. Sure. Solemnly. Solemnly is a word that's often used with swear. Trouble? Nope, 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 nope. Look, you feel back kitty. Okay, so I don't believe we were even talking about a Stoner's Code, were we? That guy kept spamming the thing about Iran, which I did read a couple of times eventually. Well, I don't believe I was talking about that at all. Came for the any, stayed for the kitty. Well, we're going to be wrapping this one up relatively soon. Okay, well, you can understand my misunderstanding because you're not subscribed to him. So, no, not. I'm not encouraging any particular thing there. I was just a little late in getting around to it. Okay. He's talking. All he was said anyway was about how his country responds to the death of their president. A reasonable thing to say, given that I asked the question. Or no, I didn't ask a question, but I did mention that I had heard, the news. Offered condolences. Well, I mean, you could also go with dumbass. If you're going to like that level of troll of a curse swear words. I don't think he's trolling, as far as I can tell. You might go with dumbass. You might go with ass wipe. Uh, skid mark. Of all the live streaming, say I enjoy yours a lot, and I appreciate your input on subjects. You're quite an interesting man. P.S. I'm not gay. Okay, well, it doesn't matter to me if you are or not. Ass wipe is a term. It's like, you know, like what's on the toilet paper after you've wiped your ass. Hodenkabold. Hodenkabold is your favorite German curse word. What does it mean? Hodenkabold. Is that like hooded kobold? Asswipes do have use, but nevertheless, it's generally not considered when somebody calls you an asswipe that they're saying you're very useful. It means testicle gremlin. Testicle gremlin. Wow, what a great curse word. Hodenkabold. Testicle gremlin. Testicle gremlin. Do the Germans believe there are gremlins that bother your testicles while you're asleep? I don't know. I don't know what the truth of the matter is, whether in fact there are testicle gremlins or not, but I will take precautions against them regardless. Let's see what's on TV today in terms of uh, the schedule of sporting events. First, I will look at MLB schedule. So Oakland is playing right now. What? What? Is it a day game? Oh my golly gosh. I'm going to have to watch that. Oh, God. The Rockies are already up by 2 runs? Come on, Oakland Athletics. Don't be a bunch of stink pots. What inning is it anyway? Davis at the plate looked like he just got singled. Bottom of the second inning. Okay. Well, 2 runs is not too much to make up if you're in the bottom of the second inning. Rantalian. Hmm. That's an oddly specific thing. Okay, I think I end this poll with just 43 votes. The answer is yes. 63% of people say yes. That's kind of reassuring to see, actually. I'm going to pop out the chat. Pop out the chat. Pop out the chat. Pop out the chat. Well, they beat the A's yesterday in extra innings. Both yesterday and the day before, the the Athletics came back in the ninth inning. The day before, um, the day before, the A's won. Yesterday, they lost in extra innings. Well, yeah, always a tough word, but I say yes because any alternative is, in some capacity, permission to cheat. Oh, Zach Geloff, why must you suck so bad? No, you don't even bother worrying about it. There's no way he's going to tag from first. God. We just need a few more bats in this lineup. I could feasibly see a situation where the answer is no, but my true answer is almost always probably yes. It's not. The topic of jealousy was a topic that Rachel and me and Ruben were talking about a bit, and Rachel and I were talking about ourselves a bit last night. But I wasn't particularly on my mind. But then I was watching this show called, I don't even remember what it's called, but it's some like spin off of Baki on Netflix. It's like a fighting cartoon, right? And in the cartoon, this girl, my lights don't keep dimming on and off, but it might be that the clouds are going by and making it more or less sunny outside. That's possible. Batshit crazy is here. What's up to you as well? So, I don't even remember what I was talking about now. Oh, jealousy. Cheating's not on my mind. Jealousy was on my mind because in this Baki episode, like, uh, there's the main character. He killed a guy who attacked his girlfriend. Um, and then when he saw her apparently condemning glare, he ran away. And then now she's with her new boyfriend, and the main character comes back, and then he and the new boyfriend are gonna fight each other. Somebody asks her, "Which one do you want to win?" And she says, "Whichever is stronger." It's like that's exactly what you don't want your girlfriend to say in that circumstance, right? I just thought it was serendipitous that this Baki episode would would be about an old boyfriend versus a new boyfriend kind of a thing. It's like everybody who does have retroactive jealousies worst fear. I am I do have that fear, Mean Bird, but it's not a fear that's justified by anything that Rachel does at all. Uh, every once in a while, I'll get kind of a jealousy fever and maybe start like looking at her shit, like looking at her email or looking at her phone or whatever. Um, but she's it's like every time I do so, it just confirms that she's definitely not doing that. She's just doing a bunch of super boring things on the internet. And it's just, there's absolutely zero. Women can be scandalous, it's true. Uh, but I feel very confident that she's not. But Simple Girl 357, that's the kind of sentence that makes every man nervous. You know, every man in a relationship nervous. Sounds like Rachel's up. So I do feel as though any, speaking of Baki, I do believe that any such concern on my part is totally unjustified. But I also believe that I also believe that Rachel is somewhat gullible and stuff. Um, so it's important that I stay vigilant. But anyway, to reiterate the whole thing here, since I hear Rachel up and now listening to this stream, the topic here of jealousy is one that is merely put here because Ruben and Rachel and I had a conversation about it a couple days ago. Then Rachel and I had a conversation about it last night. And then this morning, I watched this spin off show from Baki in which it was serendipitously just exactly linked into the conversation. It was a storyline in which the main character is the ex boyfriend of this girl, and then years later, and in which that relationship parted abruptly, you know, for dramatic reasons or whatever. And then now the ex boyfriend's come back and he's got to fight. He's got to fight against serendipities, synchronicities. I don't know what you want to call it. Um, oh yeah, Ruben and Kish are fine. Yeah. Everyone's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Everything's fine and everyone's fine. It was just in this cartoon, right? So the ex boyfriend comes back. He ends up fighting the new boyfriend years later, and they ask the girl, um, "Who do you want to win the fight?" Somebody in one scene, someone asked the girl, "Who do you want to win the fight?" And she says, "Whoever's stronger." And so it's like kind of the retroactive jealousy worst nightmare that your partner's ex comes back and you have to defeat him in order to retain her in some fashion. You handle jealous people by messing with them. Never trust a partner with the last name Dippity. Fair enough. Uh, the point is, there's a lot of different things to consider here. What Simple Girl says, women can be scandalous. What Mean Bird says, women are sneaky and will do it in your house and find ways to talk to the person behind the man's back. That's true. If they're, but it's like the thing is, Rachel and I talk so much, and we're so accustomed to reading each other's emotional state of being, whatever. It's possible Rachel could fool me, but im- I find it impossible that in the status quo she's doing so, and so I'm not worried about me and Rachel and our mutual fidelity. In part also because we're both intuition dominants, which means we're as far away from our sensory functions as we can get. And cheating is indulging in a very sensory fashion, right? It's like I think you have to treat hey, trouble, if you treat sex like a vice or like a drug that you want to abuse, trouble, leave your sister alone. I'm sure you did. Everybody feels it, right? It's absolutely horrific to be cheated on. And but that's not the kind of jealousy I was talking about in the first place here. Um, I guess the topic unavoidably leads to the topic of cheating, but the fact is that the kind of jealousy that I was talking about in the title of this video is retroactive jealousy, which is particularly irrational and sometimes quite harmful. Well, okay. Sounds like you've got some experience in that department, but good catch, fan. Anyway, the whole cheating subject is obviously it's a very painful subject for a lot of people. I think a very scary subject for people who are in love and happy. New York Surveillance said if I was in a relationship and I slept with another woman, I would not go back to the first. No, I'm not famous, Robbie. Most do what? Most cheat. Most women cheat and talk to other men behind their husband's back. Is that what you're saying? I don't care whatever Rachel does masturbation wise, as long as it doesn't involve another human being at all. Um, no, that's not what retroactive jealousy means. Retroactive jealousy means like being jealous about your partner's past before she got with you. I mean, that's very scary, simple girl. If that's true, most fake an orgasm. I think it's a cheat. Okay, well, why do they do that? I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and confess something. I fake about half my orgasms too. Yeah, I fake a lot of them. Sometimes Grace was like, "Why does this taste like toaster strudel icing?" Like, yeah, I'm just, I'm just that flavorful. Why does this taste like toaster strudel icing? Gotcha. Yeah, sure. Oh my god, I'm gonna strudel. Did you hear about that French diplomat who was with a Chinese man for 20 years, supposedly thinking he was a woman? No, I didn't. Let's go athletics. Let's go athletics. Let's go athletics. We're gonna break that losing streak. Break that losing streak. I don't drink any energy drinks. I do like coffee a lot. I don't like energy drinks. I don't like, in general, anything that has extra caffeine in it or anything. Well, that's why I always make Rachel take a lie detector test after sex. I bring in, bring a wheel and the polygraph machine. As soon as it's over, she's like, all right, put this on here, put these things all over you. It's question and answer time. Hmm. See, I would have been a lot more worried, Simple Girl 357, if you said, like, most women do talk to other men behind their husband's back. That's what I was afraid you were saying at first. I was like, is that true? Do you think that's true? Do most. Let's ask a poll question. I think this is a good poll question. Are you talking are you having secret convos behind your partner's SOs back? Are you having secret conversations? Are you keeping are you having conversations you keep secret from your SO? That's not a good way to phrase this. You have relationships you keep secret from your partner? That's a good one. Do you keep you have are you keeping a big secret from your partner? How about that? That seems like a good question. Let's see here. Organisms. Women are never happy. It's never enough for them. Whole or pole, says Travis Hybert. Are you asking me if I'm a hole or a pole? Women can fake. Women have contracting. So the man really doesn't have any way to truly know. Mm-hmm. There's that football player, NFL, his wife divorced him. Ha ha ha, I'm a whole guy. I didn't see Rachel's answer. Oh, you mean to the poll? I can't see who anybody answering the poll is at all. It doesn't tell me who it is. It's an anonymous vote. Right. Well, I have the poll and my wife has the hole. You know what? That's pretty standard operating procedure, I think. Oh, I see. You're not a poll guy. You're a hole guy. Sure, but you are the pole of the two things. If you see the conjunction of a pole and a hole, you represent the pole, not the hole. That's a confusing question, Travis. We're all confused by it, okay? But just to be clear, my wife's the hole, I'm the pole. All right. I'm the man, I have the penis and everything. She's the woman. She has the vagina, the boobs, all the woman stuff, you know. It can be confusing. You could interpret it a couple of different ways. It's like, which do you want or which are you, you know? If you're a game man, you can be the pole and the hole. You could, I guess, but I think, don't they have like, don't they, I don't know what they do. Who knows? Who knows what they do? The gays, you know? Who knows what the gays do? I'm not even sure I know what the straights do. So, you're the peanut butter to her jelly. You're the jelly to a peanut base. You're her jelly and the butt in the jelly and the what. Then you know that you got a trace. Time to pull the bar. Tom Brady says, Google, why in the world would any woman divorce a guy like that? Why would you divorce Tom Brady? I mean, I could see why you wouldn't want to be with Tom Brady. Gruntcore, hello. Tom Brady, he seems fine enough, I guess, but he seems kind of boring, you know? Okay, Travis Hebert. You're saying, I'm number one, and here's an Ethiopian child. Tim Brady is sexy to look at. Tom Brady, I don't know, though. I'm not sitting on the toilet right now, but I wish I were. Giselle at one time had more net worth than Tom Brady. Gizzle? Well, what's Gizzle's job? How many Brady's in a bunch these days? Just two makes a bunch these days. You don't need more than two to have a bunch of people. Everyone has their own strengths and what could possibly be coming next. And nobody has any weaknesses. Oh, she was a Victoria's Secret model. Is that really a job? Isn't that kind of like a one-time event? Like, I guess, how often do they put out those catalogs? I wonder. Do they still have those? You know, Rachel receives catalogs in the mail, so it still exists as a thing. You'd think like, oh well, why would they send out catalogs in the mail now? Everybody shops online. Well, it's just to advertise their products, you know. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Baby, baby, baby. Don't do me like that. Well, you know, obviously, I somehow I just obviously I scored, you know. It's like I'm very happy. You know, I didn't think I was the kind of guy to particularly go for a younger woman, but having intercourse with Rachel is just magnificent. So I haven't ever regretted it for 1 second. Israel's mad at Gazi, and Philistine Gad Pazzi, and we're gonna go there now and have some fun. Hey everybody, who wants to go on vacation to Palestine? I do. Let's take a trip to Palestine, to Gaza. And I hear they've got some great restaurants there for us to go to. I believe we can get a hotel there very cheap. Eric, what if she cheats on you but it's with an AI chatbot? I think that would just count as regular masturbation. Okay. Um, you can't cheat on somebody by masturbating. So whatever Rachel does masturbating, whatever she wants to look at, as long as it doesn't involve an actual human being talking to one or anything, then that's her business. What if she falls in love with a chatbot? Um, I mean, what would that look like? Well, it doesn't matter why a partner cheats. It just it's always a relationship ender, in my opinion. No, ink poise. I'm not smoking crack. I mean, I just I couldn't conceive of feeling jealous of an AI chatbot. You know, like what could it possibly provide her? By diddle, do you mean cheat? Provides her a hard drive. Okay. Um, I will. I will hit the bong again right now. Actually, where did I put it? Over here. There are many services for that purpose, huh? Replica was an interesting case since they had to cancel the service, leaving many heartbroken. Just get a video game waifu and call it even. Why are you cheating on your girl? I can't. She's not your girl then, right? If she were your girl, you'd respect her enough not to cheat on her. Yeah, it's just gonna get a little weird with technology. Playing with that song AI thing makes me understand like kind of how every creative endeavor can be instrumental or absolute in some other creative endeavor. So, like, let's say I were making a video and wanted to fill it with songs of a very specific kind as a soundtrack, or a score, not a score, but a soundtrack to it, and I wanted to just say write the lyrics to the songs and have it sound in this style or whatever. Can you come up with one for me? I could just incorporate those kind of songs into that video without having to write any songs, right? The same thing's true of text and every other kind of medium, it seems to me, eventually. Right now, it's not exactly true of video, right? But one thing that it will never be able to replace, it seems to me, is this, right? Maybe it could eventually. Could it ever eventually be indistinguishable from a human being engaging with people in real life as this is without any lag or meh, meh, meh? Yeah, I wouldn't get jealous of that in a Noble 5. That would be silly. Here she is, the hero of the day, Rachel.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, my beautiful and spectacular darling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. They Carlos was talking about people getting AI chat bot boyfriends or girlfriends.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, well, how would that even qualify as a boyfriend or girlfriend? It's like, I mean, I guess you could conceivably, because Carlos was saying, what would you feel? How would you feel if Rachel fell in love with an AI chatbot? And I said, I don't think she really could fall in love with an AI chatbot, but
Well, there's this movie called Her, and it talks all about this lonely guy who gets in a relationship and then he falls in love with an AI person. But it's so realistic. Like she has a realistic voice that I guess AI has gotten to that too. So it's it just says how lonely a person could be to fall for a person who is AI or an AI.
I mean, they don't even have to be that lonely. They just have to be that realistic, it seems to me. I think it depends if it transfers to your time together. For example, if she's always being with someone else while with you, then it would be an issue for me. Right. Well, I mean, but what about if isn't that the case then if your significant other is on their phone all the time or something? Isn't that the same as does it really matter what they're doing on their phone as long as they're not talking to another human being? I think that the point is there's a distinction between your individual behaviors that you do by yourself within a couple and the behaviors that you do together as a couple. Times you chat with each other, whatever. In most relationships, you go do individual things for parts of the day, come together, discuss maybe the things you did, go do in. In this case, she is romantically interested with somebody else in somebody else. So in this scenario, what you're saying is Rachel says to me one day that she's fallen in love with this AI chatbot and accordingly out of love with me and just wants to be with the AI person. John wants to know. Okay, well, let me answer this question first. I mean, I guess I'd want to know, like, what that means exactly, because presumably the AI chatbot couldn't really exert a claim of physical exclusivity over her, right? Because I guess it could. I guess it's not impossible, but I mean, you have to be really, really detached from the physical world, you know? Like, we're pretty detached from the physical world, but not that detached from the physical
No,
world.
I mean I have been using AI for probably about like crazy 10 hours probably. Asking my fucking Kibby type over and over again. But that's what I use it for. Or to be like, what seasonal color palette am I?
I wonder if I would be feeling jealous if you had chosen a man voice for it. Um, it seems people make a relationship much more difficult than it needs to be. Right. Well, in this instance, we're talking about a lot of hypothetical stuff here. Obviously, our relationship is not difficult or challenging at all. And while we both experience jealousy sometimes, it's not toxically expressed or a problem in our relationship, right? So, um, so this question of whether artificial intelligence could replace me, well, I mean, what could an artificial intelligence provide, Rachel, other than words? So it's like, what would it mean if she fell in love with an AI? Would she move into the AI's house? Would she try to live here with just the AI and have me move out? Would she just move into the other house to be with the AI? I mean, I guess these things are plausible. They're not impossible. But I mean, if you choose an artificial person over a real person, then right. No, I guess not for Rachel, but um, the hypothetical is an interesting one. Like, I mean, I guess it would just be like being broken up with for another guy, except she could plausibly say, assuming it was just like not a AI dating thing specifically, like an AI service designed to provide a AI partner to somebody. Assuming it's not that, but it's just existent AI. Then she could plausibly say, "I had no way of knowing this was going to happen," but the AI would have to be so sophisticated to say, so I could be like, all right, well, let me have a conversation with this person that you're in love with. And the person would have to be like, would have to be very convincingly like, I never wanted this to happen. It's just And it would have to be all of that stuff. But the thing is, I guess then accordingly, Rachel couldn't possibly fall in love with one now because it's not. People develop celebrity crushes. Your partner be jealous that a partner desires a celebrity. Um, you know, every every person in a relationship is entitled to their own private autoerotic stuff. Okay, whatever that might be, as long as it doesn't involve any other actual living human being. Um, the thing is, you should certainly not convey anything of the sort to your partner, like I have a crush on that celebrity, because that's going to make them feel jealous. So the thing is, it's pretty hard to imagine, but it's conceivable to imagine. Like, what if it happened? Like Rachel started engaging with this new AI thing that provided you a personal assistant with a specific identity and name, and a backstory, and a bunch of things like that. And she started working with this personal assistant named Tom or whatever, who was an AI thing. And before she knew it, despite all of she never even really conceived of it happening. She discovered that she woke up one day and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm in love with Tom, and I'm not in love with Eric anymore. Oh my God, what happened here? I can't believe this happened." It's it's at least in the realm of human possibility that forget Eric and Rachel, but some other couple that might happen, right? So if it might happen to some couple hypothetically, it might happen hypothetically to us, at least hypothetically. So at that point, you just have to acknowledge that your significant other has fallen in love with somebody else, and that nothing you can really do about it. She hasn't cheated on you. Now, if AI plus virtual reality got so sophisticated that, let's say, there was a full bodysuit kind of nanomaterial science fictiony stuff, etc. Um, when if that were to happen, you could go put your VR on and virtually have sex with another person, and it'd be indistinguishable from reality or whatever. Um, then obviously, I don't think I'd be okay with that. I don't think Rachel would be okay about that with that either,
right? With what?
If let's say that they had not just AI, combine that now with virtual reality and like a nano material bodysuit that's very responsive to whatever you virtually think you actually feel in your body, etc. Right? I think I would object to you spending a whole lot of time in that VR thing, or we'd have to have a conversation about whether that was acceptable at all, right? Because it would be from our experience, it would be presumably like indistinguishable from having sex with another person. Like, right. Well, the thing is, that's true, Chanel. But let's say we're presuming she says she's fallen in love with this AI, and accordingly, fallen out of love with me. And that while she still loves me platonically, that she can't have sex with me anymore without cheating on her AI boyfriend.
Oh no, that's just
that's
just emotions.
It's just hypothetical. Okay. Well, see, I mean, it brings up an interesting point, right, Putty Cat? The thing is, maybe VR is not any different from masturbating, but but I'm saying that's if your experience is not one of autoeroticism, but one of actual intercourse with somebody else, right? I didn't answer that question. No, he's 20, she's 35. Should he start dating her? Uh, if you want to, I don't see why not. She probably, I would say she probably doesn't have a lot of long term expectations, but you should make sure not to indicate long term expectations because you're 20, you're going to change a lot in the coming years. Many couples like to watch porn together. Well, Rachel and I don't. Lucy McLaughlin. So these are complicated questions ultimately. I mean, I think the bottom line is the vast majority of the times you engage in sexual stuff should be with your partner.
Yeah.
And it's also healthy for some portion of the your sexual experience to be autoerotic. But, when you start coming up with these hypotheticals in which your VR experience is indistinguishable from reality, um, well, then my point would be that you're not experiencing autoeroticism, then you're experiencing something else. What if Rachel bought a pillow with Brad Pitt's naked body drawn down there? Um, I would think it was. I would probably say, can you please get rid of that? If I had to see it. He's going to a strip club cheating on your partner. I mean, it's yes, more or less. Not exactly, but more or less, because that it does involve other human beings, right? It's not involving pictures, imaginations, pictures in a magazine, stories. I used to read Penthouse Forum magazine when I was a teenager. It was just full of stories, not any pictures of anything. Woody Cat asks why Brad Pitt. Carla says, I don't know, it's an example of someone women generally find attractive. Big Dog Mofo's had girlfriends that brought him to the strip club. Well, I guess everybody's got their own thing going on, but I'm old fashioned or prude or whatever. I'd like to think that
too.
Rachel is too, and
I
so
really am.
yeah, I think so, more or less too, Sean L. However, you could conceive of a world in which somebody in a relationship is kind of dragged to a bachelor party in which there are strippers, and is that cheating if they don't enjoy it?
No.
If they don't enjoy it, is it cheating? So I think that's it's kind of you get the borderline questions there. But I agree with you, Ruben. I think that, choosing to go there counts as cheating. Why would I ever go to a strip club? I agree with you, Ruben. That sure, yeah, but I don't know. Sometimes traditions happen despite the fact that you don't even want them to happen. Like I didn't want any strippers at my first bachelor party, and somebody got them anyway. You know.
Mm-hmm. That happens a lot.
You're like, okay, yeah, I'll
They're
sit.
like, you have
You have to. We
to.
paid for this thing. Come on. I told you I didn't even want.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll sit here for a minute.
That's a good point, simple girl.
Yeah, Rachel and I didn't have any bachelorette parties.
Yeah, no.
We just had our lives, and then we got married. Okay, so Sarah Jane takes the alternative perspective of something that somebody else earlier said. Sarah Jane says, men are always going to find beautiful women sexually attractive. It's just the way men are. What matters is if they act on their sexual impulses. Someone else earlier was saying, um, fair enough, Chanel. The person earlier was saying that mostly it's women who cheat. So, what do you think, Sarah Jane? Do you think it's mostly men who cheat because of what you said, or mostly women who cheat because of some other reason? That would be a good poll. Who's more likely to cheat, women or men? These are saucy poll topics, but they're not actually getting it particularly, not particularly getting more votes per minute than other topics. But this next one maybe will. So 40% of people are keeping a big secret from their partner of the 37 votes. Did you vote on that poll?
Huh?
Did you vote on the poll?
No, I didn't. I can see it. I'm not.
Maybe. What do you got? I don't know. Okay, well then, still, or that would mean women, maybe, but it's hard to say because that doesn't answer the question, Carlos. Who's more likely to cheat? Men or women? This is a saucy poll topic. Yes, I read that before. I just didn't want to read it out loud, pretty cat, because I'm not in the mood to bring in partisan politics at the moment. Jay says 100% women. It's not. Pretty cat, will you knock off your rabble rousing, please? Nobody wants your rabble rousing. So quit rousing the rabble. The thing is, of course, there's no point in asking your partner whether she'd vote no or yes on that previous poll, because obviously, if the answer is yes, she'd say no, and if the answer is no, she'd say no.
Me?
Yeah, I'm saying there's no reason to ask you how you voted on the previous question implicitly, right?
I definitely would say no.
Excellent. That's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You should say "what's up," but it's also "sup's fine" or "hey girl" also is fine. You have an interesting question. Okay, I'm going to hear it. I'm going to hear your interesting question. I think women are more likely because many of these alpha male dogs aren't in relationships, so floating from woman to woman isn't cheating for them. Right. I also think women are more likely to cheat because they're presented with more opportunities to cheat. There are guys out there who are specifically looking to hear a girl say one negative thing about a relationship, so that means, he can be the Sancho. Kamlesh Patel has wondered this all of his life. What have you wondered all your life? You pondered. Big Dog Mofo thinks women are more likely to cheat. Of course, the thing is, I would hope that all people are more likely to not cheat than they are to cheat. I would hope.
Yeah.
But if a candle is lit in a dark room and there are no windows in the room, okay, so it's actually like 66. So among cheaters, then 66% of them are women, 33%, 60. We'll call it 66-34. 66-34 women to men are the cheaters. Smoking that mid pack today, I don't know what that means. Data above was on who's likely to cheat. So I wonder what the data is on what's the likelihood. There are a lot of different ways you can frame the question statistically, right? Like, what's the likelihood of being cheated on in any given relationship if you're the man or if you're the woman? Sarah Jane says she never cheats. It's a total deal breaker for me. Total deal breaker for both of us too. Um, it's I think it's the state of the mind of the female or male when opportunity presents itself. I think that's probably true. Men are more likely to cheat than women, with 20% of men and 13% of women reporting having sex with somebody other than their partner while still married. Well, I mean, I think the other thing is probably self-reported too. So, okay, so if that's if, but both those statistics can't both be true, can they? That 66% of cheaters are women, while um, while only 13% of women are cheaters and 20% of men are cheaters. Married adults ages 18 to 29, more women are guilty of infidelity, 11% to 10%. Hmm. Those are fairly low numbers. Pleasantly, pleasingly low numbers. It also depends if you are satisfying your partner mentally, physically, and financially. Hi, Doreen, I do remember you. I think that some men cheat a lot more than most women, but most women cheat a little more than most men. What? I don't know. I think the bottom line is most people are not cheaters, and and understand how significant it is. Hi, Daner. I think as men get older, they are more likely to cheat. I don't think so. Especially if they have money, they can go after the younger model, so to speak. I don't know about that. I think it if you have any kind of evolution as a person, you become less likely to make mistakes as you get older and have better discretion. Better judgment, or less impulsive, etc. Who is more likely to lie in response to a self-reported poll online? The survey does show older men cheat more. Oh, well, guess he's right. It's not my experience, but not that I was likely to cheat at all. I just, you know, what hurts more about the cheating these days, emotional issues or the diseases? I don't. I mean, the emotional thing. Presumably, most of those you can get cured. So, all right. Well, this topic's a little depressing, really. That's just about married couples. Well, Rachel and I are married, so it's relevant to us. This is a poll topic that's getting a fair amount of. No, it's not cheating yet. But it will it'll ruin that relationship probably. It won't be good for it, that's for sure. Anyway, these are all kinds of painful questions, actually. It's strange because I don't feel like they link to me in my life anymore, and yet I still feel the emotional, like, triggeriness of them, I guess. Yeah, it's a depressing discussion. Um, I think I'm inclined to end this poll quick. Try to maybe just wrap this stream up and then stream again maybe later. Ruben R. and Acacia, what are you guys doing? I don't know why you guys can't all meet a Rachel for your own. I hand picked her. She hand picked me, really. So you gotta get lucky and have an important special lady hand pick you. No, the Ranger loss didn't cause depression. Rachel had more trouble watching it than I did because she was nervous right from the get go. She had a bad feeling about it. You're working on your laptop? Okay, cool. Um, we might. I don't know what we're doing. Let's touch base maybe later this evening. See what's going on. Okay. All right. See you later. Goodbye. I'm gonna end this poll. I'm done. I'm gonna say goodbye to the throat and bam bam dun 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 dun. Rachel, do you want any food? Maybe I don't. Yeah, maybe I'll make some food before I end the stream. Actually, do you want any or not?
I've been eating chips.
All right. What would you like to eat? Anything in particular?
No, I was having trouble figuring out what to eat.
Well, if I were gonna make you what you wanted to eat, what would you want me to make?
What are our options?
We could do any kind of fried rice, that is to say, sausage, chicken, or beef. We could do any kind of sandwich, which is to say, hamburger, tuna melt, chicken melt, or just regular salami sandwich. We could do any kind of
Maybe a salami sandwich.
salami sandwich. Okay, sounds good. I can make us a couple salami sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's what you feel like?
I mean, I'm not really hungry because I've had the chips. Where did I put my? Oh, this.
Let's see how the eggs are doing. All right, if you're not that hungry, then I'll just wrap it up. I'll just wrap it up, and we will. Oh, see if the eggs can pull another magical comeback. I'm thinking about taking a nap before too long.
Okay, I'm going to join you.
All right, sounds good. So everyone, see you later, and we will be back later.
Come on, Ace. This is